Assalamu alaikum. As you guys saw, Carlo Ancelotti ball back in full strength and filled with Real Madrid 2, Mallorca nil. And yeah, that performance, honestly, I'm not going to lie. We had a lot of goals that were not allowed, but I'm not going to let that be the reason that to say that, hey, Real Madrid played good. We just had, a lot of goals being disallowed. But if I'm being honest, this performance was not the one that I was hoping for, and a lot of the Madrid fans were not hoping for in the media. So I just want to talk about a couple of things that I feel like I'm going to be repeating myself over and over and over again with the way Real Madrid played and the way individual players played and how Mallorca scored a goal on us like we've been conceding over the past 3 seasons. But before I get to that, I do want to say, even though that Real Madrid didn't play at their best, they still won and they got their full 3 points. And there were moments where Real Madrid did very well, like in the first half and in the beginning of the second half. So the first thing I did want to talk about is, first of all, Arda Güler, fantastic player. And I feel like that every single game that I watch him play, he plays like he is born in Madrid and he was raised in the factory, which is La Fabrica. I think that's what they call the academy. And he came up from there, and he's a Spanish player. The way he plays during specifically this game is more for the badge than any other player that maybe grew up in Madrid or maybe that are younger than him and that got signed before him. You know what I'm trying to say? Arda Güler, well-deserved man of the match. I never ever vote for man of the match, but for this specific game, I literally scanned the QR code that came up on the top left, created an account for La Liga. I think that was their website. I don't even know where I created my account. And I had to vote Arda Güler for man of the match. So, well-deserved. I was satisfied with everything that he did. Everything. Even though there's a couple moments where he lost the ball, I'm still proud of everything that kid did. And it was well-deserved man of the match for him. Like I said, the second thing I do want to talk about is Real Madrid's pressing, which is phenomenal. I love the way the players are pressing as a team, but most importantly, I love the way Vinícius Jr. is pressing. There was a moment where he even did a slide tackle. When was the last time we saw Vinny do a slide tackle at all? I can't name it on the top of my head. So if Vinícius Jr. is going to keep up this pressing alongside all the other players, we're in good hands. I am happy with how Xabi Alonso is coaching this team defensively, pressing in specific aspect. I'm talking about the pressing tactics, and I feel like this game, so I don't know, but I don't know what is going to make me think this way or what's making me think this way, but there were moments, a lot of moments this game, especially in like the last 30-35 minutes, where the defense was just not there and Mallorca got like most of the ball possession during those times. And speaking specifically is how Mallorca got their first goal, right? Through corners. And I've always been saying this throughout the past 3 years that I've been watching Real Madrid. I've always seen corners as Real Madrid's weakness. I don't know why. We have great defenders. I don't know if the set pieces are the best, but we do have great defenders and great defensive tactics. But somehow, over even the past 3 years, I'm not talking about just this game, we've always conceded through corners. Why? I don't know. We're not consistent with defending corners. I know we're not conceding every single match through a corner, but every time a team goes to take a corner on us, why am I always going to feel nervous? Like every single time I'm nervous. When I watch any other team that goes for they either get a corner taken on them or they're about to take a corner, I don't get this feeling. I get a 50-50 feeling. Maybe it goes in, maybe it doesn't, depending on the team. But for Real Madrid, any team that goes up against them, the corners are just a threat, no matter what team goes up against them. So I hope that they fix this because, honestly, the dude, I don't even know, their number 7, the striker, jumped, spinned, and then hit it in the back of his head. Like, come on, that's not even, he didn't even mean to do that. And Dean redeemed himself, assisting Arda, but that defending from Dean, I really don't know where all this, it was like shambles. This game was honestly a shambles, and it's good, and we're lucky that we got away with a win. And before I forget this, because I feel like I am, Carreras made an important save. Mallorca was about to tie it up with a brilliant shot. Carreras, brilliant positioning and brilliant save, and I like that got me jumping out of my seat. This seat that I'm sitting on right now, right? I'm watching the game here. I record here. I literally jumped out of my seat. So Carreras, amazing save, amazing positioning, and I did not expect that. I thought it was gonna go in. I didn't even see Carreras. I didn't even expect him to do that. You know what I'm trying to say? So amazing defending. Now, the main focus, right? Every time I'm gonna always mention them, but our main focus is always gonna be Vini and Mbappe, right? Before Bellingham comes back, they're our main goal scorers. They're our main, players that get us the goals, because goals obviously wins us games, right? So when Vini has the ball, when Mbappe has the ball, I've never ever seen them do a quick play, like a quick 1-2 play, a quick pass play. Basically, I'm saying their decision making is not the best, and they have to work on that. There was multiple times where Vini had the ball on the left side, and amazing runs were being made by either Arda, by Valverde, by even Mbappe, right? And then he holds the ball for that extra 2 seconds, and then that's it. The play is gone. There's some moments where the play has to be done right then and there. If it's not going to be there, then there's no point in even doing it at all. A lot of times, even their positioning was horrible. A lot of times where Mbappe would be the one on the left side, but guess who else is on the left side? Vini. There was a moment where Franco crossed it from the right side. Nobody was in the box. So positioning is very important, and I've always been mentioning this in the past couple of videos. You could go back and watch it. I've always said positioning and the way they communicate, their chemistry, has to be set in stone. Like, there's no ifs and buts. That's why I've always said Rodrigo should be the one starting either with Mbappe or Vini, because Rodrigo is a team player. He sees these plays fast. He knows when to pass fast. And I'm happy that he got a couple of minutes. Even though he didn't do much, I'm still happy that Rodrigo got on the pitch. And I hope that he keeps getting back on the pitch, because he creates magic. Rodrigo creates magic, whether it's himself, where we saw a couple of moments where he almost scored, or it's through a teammate. He creates magic through his teammates. So Vini and Mbappe got to stop hugging on the left side, honestly. Look, by the way, this is coming as a Real Madrid fan. I love them both, but they have to separate. They have to separate. With two amazing individual brilliance on the same side, we can't have that. What are you going to do to work with that? There's going to be empty spots in the field, especially in the middle, because that's where Mbappe is supposed to be at. At some point, right, which is crazy. I still remember this. There was Mbappe and Vini on the left side, and in the box were literally our midfielders. How does this make sense? I don't expect Arda Güler to catch a cross, right? Because obviously there's going to be defenders in the box. Obviously the defenders are not going to chase Mbappe and Vini all the way to the left side thinking that they could open up the box. No, they're going to stay in formation like Mallorca did. They defended well, because Madrid's attack this game was not the best. It was not the best. There was multiple times where we had our counters. Mbappe's goals got taken away from him, and rightfully so. One offside. The Arda Güler, I forgot to mention this. That handball, I'm not really sure. I could see it going both ways because the camera was not really the best. But, it's whatever, because you can't. It's really a 50-50. Whether he says it's a goal, whether he says not a goal, you can't really 100% tell, because obviously his hand was like this. So if it hit only shoulder, it's a goal. Even over here, it's a goal. But I think he had his hand out like this. So I think it hit him here, then it hit his hand, and it went like that, based off what the referee said. So yeah, but Arda Güler has been amazing with everything: defending, pressing, positioning, attacking, passing, going into the box, tracking back. Arda Güler, he's really amazing and a gem. And I really hope that he never gets, doesn't get any injuries. I hope Xabi doesn't overload him. There has to be moments where we have to rest him. So, yeah, those are the things that kind of bothered me this game. It was just Vini and Mbappe, kind of their decision-making is very slow. They automatically, as soon as they get the ball, majority of the times, 8 out of 10 times, they want to first kind of do a little dribble, a little hezzy in front of the player, and then they either pass it back or just they miss up the plays. The plays are messed up, and they miss passes, they miss players making a brilliant run. You know what I'm trying to say? And then you give the other team a chance to counter, and it's just a mess. I don't even know how to describe it. It's really a mess. The decision making has to be quick. The passes has to be quick. If you see a pass that's right there, like Carreras was making runs behind Vinny. Vinny never passed him the ball, and it was the same as last season, right? Where Fran Garcia would make a run from behind him, and Fran was not getting the ball. The defender doesn't go to Fran. The defender doesn't go to Carreras. They know that Vinny doesn't pass. Like, it's really obvious. Like, it shows that Vinny's not gonna pass, so they're just gonna stay on him. So there has to be a change with the way we attack, because if there's a change, and a good change, we all know what's going to happen next, right? Like I said in the other video, if Mbappe and Vinny are on a fast break and a counter, nobody in the world is stopping them, right? What I envisioned was literally what happened against Oviedo, where Vinny passed to Mbappe very quick. It didn't even take that long. That's something that they need to do in regular plays too, not just counters. And that is what I expected. But this game was something I did not expect. I thought it was going to be a little different. You could even see Xabi Alonso frustrated with both Mbappe and Vinny. You know, I'm just happy that we did get the 3 points. But am I satisfied? I'm not. I'm not satisfied. The whole team really, you know, they played well, but you could tell something was off. You know, Valverde, something was off, right? You had Tchouaméni in the first half just taking long shots after long shots. Dean Huijsen, you know, we rarely see him kind of being slumpy and not really defending to his best ability. So maybe this game was just not their game. I'm not sure, but there was, like, you could tell there's a lot of mistakes. All right, so I'm going to keep repeating this because I feel like it's easy to forget. I'm not a professional. I'm not a manager. I'm not a coach. I'm not a player. I'm just a fan who wants to give his opinion. Oh yeah, one more thing I almost forgot to mention. Mbappe, I don't know why he's like the free kick taker. It shouldn't be him, honestly. If they're trying to train him to become the free kick taker, then he's not ready, right? Obviously, he did score one against Barcelona last season, but he hasn't been consistent with it. And I felt like if Rodrigo took it, that free kick, we had a higher chance of it going in. Rodrigo's very, very, very good with free kicks, especially Valverde. And before that, we had Toni Kroos. But Mbappe, I really don't know why they had him take the free kick, especially at a situation like this where we need to score, right? Because it was only 2-1. And Mallorca could have easily scored. There was a bunch of numerous times where they almost scored. So I don't know. Real Madrid got to fix that. I really don't know. Like, sometimes there's so many thoughts in my head that I just can't say it. And I really hope that Xabi Alonso fixes these mistakes and these players so that we don't have to struggle with the obvious. That's all I gotta say. So let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Let me know if there's anything that I missed. Maybe you guys disagree with something that I said. Put in the comments below. I'm gonna read all of them and I am going to respond to them. And like always, if you enjoyed this video, or if you enjoy just maybe the way I talk about the matches or my own opinions on these matches and players and topics, leave a like, comment, and maybe if you want to show it to a friend, you could also share. And if you are new, make sure that you subscribe for more. And until then, Assalamu alaikum.